of mob violence we've been seeing from the left, it's nothing new. In fact, this has been around since Ronald Reagan was governor of California in the 1960s. And he had his own way, though, of dealing with the problem. Joining us now with insight, it's important to get some, Reagan biographer, presidential historian, Craig Shirley. Craig, I've been dying to talk to you. As the temperature is rising, though, you get the sense, especially with social media, that's a big difference between now and back in 1969. People are able to coalesce in a place really fast and assault people in public places, either verbally or otherwise. But how did Reagan deal with it, and how might we learn from that?
Laura, he dealt with it with a lot of wit and grace. I remember one time during the Vietnam War, he was confronted by a smelly, malodorous, dirty, disheveled hippie. And it may have been Bill Clinton, for all we know. But the hippie was carrying a sign that said, "Make love, not war." Reagan looked at the hippie, and he looked at the sign, and he turned to an aide, and he says, "You know, from the looks of him, I don't think he'd do either." So he had a way of... One time he was in his limo in Berkeley again. And there was a group of unruly students out there, anti-war protesters, and they were making a scene and making themselves obnoxious. Reagan got a piece of paper and wrote on the piece of paper and put it up the windshield, and it said, "I'm selling my bonds."
Oh my God! Well,
he had a way of dealing with these things by turning humor to his advantage, which can be a great asset in American politics.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen Trump in recent days at these rallies. He's actually been extremely funny, but at the same time...
He's been very good.
But at the same time, it's a different environment media-wise. The media was against Reagan, hated Reagan was president.
Yes.
But there's something different about the way the clips on social media are shared. But I do want to play something for you. This was from 1969, and this is in a public meeting with the Berkeley administration during all of the chaos on campus. Let's watch.
All of it began the first time some of you who know better and are old enough to know better let young people think that they had the right to choose the laws they would obey as long as they were doing it in the name of social protest.
Boy, is that appropriate for today's time. I mean, what are we teaching the kids? You can trash something, pull down a statue because you don't like it, give the middle finger to the president because someone gave you the lines to say?
He broke it down to its elements, to its components, and he revealed what was really going on there, which was it wasn't about social justice, it was about creating injustice. Look, this is the essential difference between the Tea Party of some years ago and the protesters of today, is that the Tea Party was defending institutions. The protesters of today are trying to tear down institutions, and that's the essential difference between the two.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've heard from some of the individuals who've gotten in the faces of these senators, and they say they want to take it all down. There's a piece in the Huffington Post today by one of them. They want to take it down. It's not about winning on a particular point or even a Supreme Court seat. It's about taking down the entire framework, which is just fomenting injustice against various minority groups in their view.
We're witnessing the 21st version of the French Revolution. The French Revolution, as you recall, was about tearing down all institutions in France, destroying everything, marriage, contracts, money, government, property, everything, in order to achieve what they called at the time social justice. And that's what the modern left anti-protesters, Antifa protesters is about destroying all fabric of society in order to start over, and everybody supposedly starts out on an even playing field.
Okay, I'm hoping we hide all the guillotines at this point. Craig Shirley, thanks so much for joining us.